Boy, I debated on this song for weeks on whether or not to add this to the top 40 on my fantasy playlist. I had this as a top 40 extra on my fantasy playlist for 6 weeks, 7 weeks. And I thought this was an American alternative band, a classic American alternative band, just thrashing it out, just blaring away. Loud guitars, carving riverbeds, carving streams of anger, disillusion, and just a punk, just punking out. And just punking out. And a song that I didn't think was suitable, not necessarily suitable for pop radio. This was more of a party record. A record that you play just blasting out of your stereo system. A party with people and there's, just partying. Outside, outdoor party, indoor party, a frat party, a sorority party, or just a plain party period. This is just a great party record, but not necessarily something that you might want to program on a pop station at 8 or 9 or 10 in the morning. But I had a change of thought about this. This is incredible. I said it a million times, I'll say it again. It amazes me how these foreign bands can sound American. It amazes me. I don't think many Americans don't appreciate just how much our culture, our music has just been disseminated, incorporated all across the world. This band, I thought from Iowa maybe, California, Kentucky, no. Xdinary Heroes, the name of the band. South Korea. They're a K-pop band, but a K-pop band with an edge. A K-pop band that's got this record called Happy Death Day, which is a satire. 6-man band from South Korea. A relatively new band too. From what I understand, they formed in late 2021. It might have been a little bit earlier. They're part of Studio J, which I should have done research on that part of it, but I got a little lazy tonight. I was just so anxious to get into this record. But they're a sub-label of JYP Entertainment. I did a little research on 2 of the fellows in the band. There's one named Ganale. Now, I never imagined when I listened to this song, all these months, all these weeks listening to this record, and when I finally started talking about this record, that I'd be trying to learn how to pronounce these Korean names, but I believe it's Ganale. He's the drummer. He's the leader. He's from Seoul, South Korea. And mind my southern accent when I say career. We say career. But anyway, he learned how to play drums when he was 15 years old. When he was in the 6th grade, he moved to the States with his family. And his favorite band growing up, Muse. And I hear a lot of Muse in this record. Do hear some Muse in this record, particularly with the guitar brandishments and everything, and blandishments or whatever the word is. But on this particular record, another group member, he's the main vocalist. His name is Jong Ur, I believe is how you pronounce it. His nickname, But So, because of his chubby hips. And yeah, that's all I got on him. There's a big write-up on an internet site that I checked into on this band that gives the preferences and the fun facts of each of the members of the band. So they got this fantastic record out called Happy Death Day. Now, when you watch the video, when you hear the record, you may beg to differ. Here's the deal about this record. It's a flaming satire. This song is hot-wired with sarcasm. It's reflected in musicianship. It's reflected in the video. I mean, it's jaded. Some of the lyrics are jaded. Let me read you a few of the lyrics right here. I'm going to do the quote-unquote thing. Quote, I remember the day when I was 8. There was no laughter on the table. In front of the dried-up cake, smiling with pale lips. Quote, unquote. Boy, what kind of birthday is this, man? This is something like out of a horror movie, maybe, or a start of a horror movie. Quote, everyone blesses me, 1,000 meaningless wishes. Even when the candles went out, would they wear the same expression? Quote unquote. And this line sums it up right here, what this song's about. What do you like about it? Birthdays. We're closer to death. The cold reality. Killing me, killing me. And that's what this song is pretty much about. Everybody celebrates a birthday. Birthdays are fun. God, I'm getting hungry just thinking about those birthday cakes. And they got a generous amount of birthday cakes in the video from what I've seen of it. But with each birthday, though, brings you 1 year closer to your death. And so it's sort of the dark side of the birthday, the dark underbelly of birthdays that they're on about on this record, I do believe. Happy Death Day. It's loud, it is brash, it is in your face. Here's the deal about this record. Picture this. Let's take two separate people. Let's take a 30-year-old who's driving from work, who's driving home from work, and let's have a 19-year-old, 18, 19-year-old who's driving home from class or maybe driving to class. The 19-year-old listening to this record and said, yeah, man, this is just great. I mean, it comes up on the radio and he says, this is just fantastic, man. It's loud. It's just, man, it's rocking. It's punking out. But let me break out my air guitar and I'll put this car on autopilot. But the 30-year-old would think, what the hell is this, man? They played this nice record by Justin Bieber and they're throwing this mess in? What the hell is that? It's that kind of record. It's rock and roll. It's rock and roll all the way. Happy Death Day. I wish I could say more about this record. It's more about this record. I decided to add it to my fantasy playlist, put in the top 40 of my fantasy playlist. The formats for this record. Well, pop. I'm gonna stretch it. I'm really gonna stretch this and say pop. But if it were me, if this was me, I would program this song. I'd start programming it at night, late at night, between 11 and 4. Let it build a little bit of momentum, a little bit of listenership. Maybe some of the Twitter requests coming in, the Instagram request or whatever coming in. And then if enough momentum builds up, Dan put it on between 6 at night till 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning. And that's when you have your younger listeners tuning in. And if the song becomes big enough, then maybe play it in the daytime. But another platform. Now, I know there's all these platforms. I know. I got it. I got you. I understand what you're saying. You got YouTube. You got Spotify. I discovered this record on Spotify. You got, Pandora. You got all these platforms. And believe me, if anybody's thankful for all these platforms, you're looking at them big time. But the reality is FM radio, whether you like it or not, is still a conveyor of popular music. It's still a very important conveyor of popular music. Country, rock, whatever. Therefore, another possibility for this record, to start this record, alternative. And that's where all the cool kids will be listening. And they're going to be like that 19-year-old and say, God, dog it, man, this... Man, where did they cook this joint at, man? Yesterday, it's rocking. So it's on my fantasy playlist, and it's a pop fantasy playlist. Oh, by the way, I forgot to introduce myself. I don't think I introduced myself. It's Dean Kirk on the Buzzbox, and I wanted to count down this fantasy playlist of May the 8th, 2022, because 90% of the songs on this playlist are buzzworthy, and this record is buzzing. It's buzzing like a hornet's nest, ready to break out. Just dying to break out. So here we are, extraordinary heroes, not from the Midwest, not from the cornfields of Nebraska or Iowa, not from California, all the way from South Korea. And they're banging it up big time with Happy Death Day at number 40, debut, fantasy playlist. May the 8th, 2022.